I just want to take a moment today and, the miracles of Christ are so magnificent. They're so wonderful. John says, I've recorded all of this stuff in John chapter 20. He says, I've written all of this down so that you can know who Jesus Christ is, and by knowing him, you can have everlasting life. And so, yes, the miracles are phenomenal. They point to the deity of Christ. And so often we're just swept away with the magnitude of these miracles, right? I mean, he gives dead people life. I mean, he turns water into wine. He makes something out of nothing. He heals sicknesses that people have had for decades. And so these miracles are miracles they're godly proportions, right? What else could you say about them? And so as you come to you come to John chapter 6, and you find here one of the miracles that we are all so familiar with, and that's the feeding of the 5,000. Now, if you do all the math, and you figure out there's actually probably about 25,000 people here, you have 5,000 men named, or not named, but it alludes to there being 5,000 men. So you figure if they were married, they had children, families, you get up to upwards of 25,000 people. And so our Lord decides he's going to feed them. They've been there all day talking with him. He's been ministering to them. He's been teaching them. He's been doing miracles. And they all weren't expecting to stay there. That's why when Jesus sent the disciples out into the crowd to find food to feed them, nobody had any food or very little food. They find the little boy that's got some fish and some bread. And so they bring that little boy to Christ. And, that's something here that always just floors me. Andrew didn't go and find the little boy and say, hey, I need that food, and take it back to Jesus. No, he brought the little boy along too. And so the little boy is a part of this. I mean, you can imagine what that little boy was talking about for the next several days, maybe months, weeks, He's talking about how he saw this guy multiply his little lunch to feed 25,000 people. But something I really want to hone in on this is in John chapter 6, verse 13. So Jesus makes enough for everybody to have as much as they want, right? And then he tells the disciples in verse 12 to go out and gather up what's left. And then you come to verse 13, and you find out that there's exactly enough food left to fill 12 baskets. And so you ask yourself, what's significant about the number 12? Well, the answer is this. How many disciples were there? There were 12 disciples. So Jesus not only feeds 25,000 people, and he knows exactly how much they need in order that they all would be full, but the precision in this, to have exactly enough food left over to fill 12 baskets to feed the 12 disciples.